Are you feeling like a zombie lately? Tired of the same old energy drinks promising the world but delivering the jitters and a crash? Look no further than Sneak Energy, your secret weapon for all your energy needs. With all natural ingredients, Sneak will give you all the energy you need to boost through your day without feeling like a lab rat on caffeine. Don't believe us? Try it yourself and see what a difference it can make to your routine. So what are you waiting for? Hit the link in the description and pick up your Sneak Starter Pack today. Now enjoy the clip. Through. It's a week away until the soft deadline. A week today, Man United's deadline for bids is in. They might move that back, but effectively they've put that deadline there. And a week out, it is Sir Jim Ratcliffe against the Qatar bid. That's where we're at with this. And I think, I mean, look, I could do a poll in the chat. I think I know what will happen. It will be Qatar money that comes out because that's what we did the other day. But I think that the concerns that are around both bids are just not knowing. And I mean, look, let's go through some of the headlines that are coming out this morning. We've got a few here that might be of interest, and I'm sure we can discuss them. But there are concerns. There are concerns, first of all, around the offer that Sir Jim Ratcliffe might make. This is coming in from the Telegraph last night. Sir Jim Ratcliffe will fight it out with private Qatari investors and US consortiums for Manchester United, having secured two of Wall Street's biggest lenders to bankroll his deal. Well, this is going to concern people straight away. Sir Jim Ratcliffe has given the strongest indication yet that his funding is in place, working with two prolific investment banks for several weeks. They're prepared to back his offer for Man United with bonds and loans beyond the value of £650 million. Well, this is going to terrify United fans straight away. The whole I want Sir Jim because he's English, he's from the area and he's a Man United fan is fantastic. It's idealistic. It could be brilliant. But as soon as you start hearing about being bankrolled by JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley, or whatever they're called, you start to think, well, straight away, that's a red flag, like Taylor says. Now, in the world of business, it's not unusual. If you buy your house, you probably take a mortgage out. In the world of business, it's not unusual to, leverage what you're doing by taking a loan rather than using your own money. That's not unusual. But the red flag for me is not the fact that, he might be borrowing money in some shape or form, and he's probably borrowing the money himself. I don't think he'd be borrowing it against Manchester United. But even if somebody is borrowing the money to buy Manchester United, you're still borrowing the money and you've still got to pay it back. And, maybe that financial institution is saying, look, we're more than happy to give you 650 million quid because we know the money you're going to make from Man United, you'll be able to pay us back. But there's the thing, isn't it? I heard somebody say this morning, but that financial institution probably don't really care about loaning the money because they know they'll get it back because United are going to make loads of money. But that money that Man United are going to make is still going to go back to them, isn't it? It's an investor. At the cold, harsh rock face of this is, whoever the financial institutions are that are bankrolling Sir Jim Ratcliffe, they're just investors wanting their money back. And I don't want that sort of Manchester United ownership model. And it might be a fantasy. I might be living in a dreamland. But I don't want any consortium investors involved in Man United who want money back. Yeah, we'll give you 650 million because you'll be giving us $1 billion back at some point. You still got to pay it back. And I don't think people understand that. They're like, well, the debt won't be against Man United. So if I buy a business and I don't use those business to pay, I don't put the loan against the business, the profits of the business are still going to come to me to pay the loan back that I've got. I don't like it. I don't like it, and I don't like it. But everybody who's trying to buy Man United might do this. It's business. It might happen. It is a bit of a red flag. You've got to acknowledge the fact that there are big concerns around Qatar. I mean, I read something this morning from Laurie Whitwell. He was saying that in The Athletic that Merchant Bank Rain's first deadline for bids is a week today. Sources with knowledge of the situation say an offer from the Gulf state is a genuine possibility, but there is uncertainty as to whether that would result in a full takeover. There is also the prospect of the Qatari investment fund, or whatever it's called, creating a structure to satisfy Europe's ruling body about separation in the same way Red Bull managed to do it with Leipzig and Salzburg, so they can face each other. Also from The Athletic, Qatar's Emir Tamim, Al Thani has decided that countries should enter the most popular football league in the world. He's worth a staggering 335 billion, and it's just, you know what? We've got no say in this, and yet it's the biggest thing that's going to happen to you as an individual United fan in 20 years. We are going to have new owners in some shape or form. There's still an outside chance it could be investment. I don't know who anywhere in the world would think it was a good idea to keep the Glazers in place and let's carry on with Richard Arnold and John Murtaugh and the same old shit. I can't see anybody wanting to bankroll that, but you just don't know. I think we've got a very idealistic opportunity with Sir Jim Radcliffe, and I wouldn't be against it. But I think it also is a situation that is concerning, because I don't think he's got the money. I really don't think he's got the money. And people will say, well, Ineos is worth this. Ineos has shareholders. They're not Sir Jim Radcliffe. It's about the structure, says Mr. Tony. It is. Ultimately, I personally will keep reiterating what I keep saying. I can't judge Man United's owners until we know who they are and what their plan is. Somebody messaged me today and said, they built a lot of stadiums in Qatar for that World Cup. Do you think they built them for the one-off World Cup, or do you think they're planning to use them as stadiums for games in the future where it's a Super League and you take teams over there? I don't know what the plan is. The reality is that the future plan of football could be a very depressing one. It could be a very exciting one at Manchester United, and we don't make we won't make the decision, and that's the scary thing. It's massively exciting, but it's massively scary as well. We won't make the decision. The Glazers will, and ultimately the Glazers will be driven by the price. Now the I don't know whether you saw this morning. The Manchester United share price is the biggest price it's ever been, apparently. That's because of the sale. People are buying shares. It's knocking the price up because people are anticipating this big sale and everything like that. But that, therefore, strengthens the Glazers' position to say, we want a certain price. We want 6 billion now. It's going to look. We're in the end game. I said it on Twitter. This is the end game for Manchester United fans. We are in the end game. We're about to start finding out what's going to happen. And in some ways, we're completely tight. We're completely powerless. But in the other ways, you're completely gripped about what's going to happen. Telegraph goes on to say, look, there's a lot of slow sports news this morning. I've seen a lot of articles and stuff about bidding wars, and we spoke about it at 7:00 last night. It's just regurgitation. It's moved on. The story at the moment, the big story this morning, is it's Sir Jim versus Qatar. I don't know how many people are writing articles on that and doing videos on that, but the reality is that the breaking news this morning, and you normally get it on the United Stand because we've got a great community. We've moved on plus 5 teams and 5 bidders and bidding war. That was last night's story. This morning's story is it's basically Sir Jim against Qatar, because they're the two identifiable, most serious people considering a bid. Tell me what's the best one to go with there. Blindly, I won't vote blindly. So that's where I'm at. The Telegraph does go on to say at least 4 serious contenders to buy Man United have emerged ahead of a soft February deadline. We don't know who the other two are. A high-powered Qatari individual and other wealthy investors are seriously considering an offer to buy Man United, and it's independent of the PSG ownership. It is understood that the Saudis have twice... So this is not Qatar. This is Saudi now. This is Newcastle. It is understood that Saudis have twice explored the prospect of a full takeover of Man United in the past. Sources say that on those occasions, the Glazers were only ever open to selling a 20% stake in the club, and so the situation never advanced. Obviously, Saudi, they own Newcastle now, so I don't know if anything will happen.